Hello everyone, welcome to our cell biology class. And as a cell biology class, of course, what we have to talk about first is what cells are and what they're made of. So we're going to talk about how cells first appeared on Earth. Where did the first cells on Earth come from? So the appearance of cells involved four stages. First, Earth just had non-living components on it, right? So first there was the abiotic or non-living synthesis of simple organic compounds. This would be things like methane, things that have carbon and hydrogen, but not much else, and they're pretty small. Then these small, simple things would polymerize. So instead of having one small little nucleotide, you start polymerizing into macromolecules. So from one little amino acid into larger polypeptides. Then the emergence of a macromolecule is capable of replication and storing genetic information. So we're starting to get something like RNA that is capable of having some enzymatic activity, being able to replicate itself, being able to store information in the form of those nucleotides that can be transferred on to other molecules. And then encapsulating that molecule, encapsulating that RNA within a simple little membrane. There's four pretty generic steps. We could spend the whole semester talking about these, and your textbook goes into more detail. We're going to talk about them just a little bit more, but please do make sure you're reading your textbook with these so that you can be following along and really understanding how each of these happened, and the experiments that have been done that allows us to know that this is how things happened. So Stanley Miller in the 1950s was testing the hypothesis that energy from lightning could have powered the production of some of these simple organic compounds from gases in the atmosphere. So the early atmosphere on Earth probably had a lot of hydrogen, a lot of methane, a lot of ammonia, and a lot of water vapor. And he set up this apparatus to simulate the early Earth's atmosphere, and gave it, after a week of continuously exposing these gases to an electrical discharge, which simulates that early lightning. Miller detected that there were two amino acids, alanine and glycine, were found in the flask. And that's just after 1 week. So, after billions of years of Earth existing, eventually we end up getting all of our amino acids and our nucleotides being created. Deoxyribonucleic acid, which is what DNA is made of, are derived enzymatically from corresponding ribonucleotides. So RNAs were the first informational molecule then that was used to later create DNA. RNAs called ribozymes are capable of performing enzymatic reactions. So these two things together, the fact that DNA probably evolved from RNA and that RNA has enzymatic reaction, leads us to believe that there was probably an RNA world that existed before DNA and proteins. That RNA was able to store that genetic information. RNA was able to act as an enzyme to have reactions happen. And this RNA world was able to exist and function while DNA and proteins were evolving into how we know them today. Then scientists are able to take lipids and produce these little bubbly things called liposomes. These are hollow, membrane-bound vesicles. It's just lipids that are forming into these little circles, kind of clustering their hydrophobic areas away from the aqueous environment they're in. And under some circumstances, even these liposomes can be metabolic. And so it's easy to see then how these little liposomes would be able to evolve into the cell membranes, the lipid-based membranes that we have today. So primordial cells, the early cells on Earth, may have been able to come together in the early ocean within these liposomes, trapping RNAs inside of them, forming what was the first protocells. Okay, so again, that's just a very, very quick, basic introduction to how cells may have defined, because really this semester what we're focusing on is how cells work. But if you read your textbook, you'll fill in a lot of those gaps, how we know things, why it matters. I'll see you back in our next video. We're going to start talking about different kinds of cells. We have prokaryotic and eukaryotic, and how these cells are different and how they're the same and what's in them. I'll see you soon. Bye.